Alright guys, White Witch 110 back. It is hot here in Ottawa. It's been around 95, close to 100 at times during the day. It is uncomfortable, so I thought this scene of snow would help to cool us down. I'm going to be continuing with the story. And here we go. Abigail and Scott gave each other space. There was no fast-moving train here. 4 hours and Sage would be home. But he wasn't going back to the tiny house. He had rented an apartment and sold the house. He would look for another in the city. Sage needed the noise. Mel knew he was back and said not a word to Abby. She would find out soon enough. Abigail was at Dan's that afternoon, sitting at the bar having lunch. She had a few things to do in the city. She stopped into her favorite bakery after lunch. When she walked out the door, there he was. Sage. Hi, Abby. Good to see you. Back to stay? Yes, back to stay. I sold the tiny house, and I'm looking for a new place in the city. I'm sure you'll find something. His face and strong shoulders made her want to hug him. She couldn't take her eyes off of him, but she recalled his actions. Did you come alone? Abby asked. I'm not with anyone. Don't need that hassle, to be honest. Well, it's good seeing you. See you around. Abigail walked to her car and drove off. Sage soon found a house. It was a while before he caught sight of Abigail again. He was at Dan's, sitting alone, having lunch. He seen her walk in and motioned her to join him. You eaten yet? He asked. No, I was just coming in to grab something. Take a seat. I've only just started. Abby took a seat. How have things been since you're back? She asked. Been busy. Great to see mountains again instead of buildings. He attempted to laugh. Are you sure you're staying this time? Yeah, I need to get my headspace together. Toronto is too distracting. They both kept the conversation going while they ate. Sage plucked up the courage. Is there any chance of a date? I'd like that. Call me. We can go for a nice dinner or go for a hike, he suggested. That night, Abigail thought of Sage. Scott was on tour. Was she doing the right thing? He recalled the first place they hiked to. There was a cute little cabin. He reserved it for the following weekend. He'd have a delicious dinner ready to be served. Sage had to remember not to get it too romantic. Come on. Abigail asked, where are we going? Wear something comfortable. Nothing fancy, just comfortable. Didn't take her long to throw on jeans and a t-shirt. Should I bring a jacket? Yep. You have your runners on? Good. Sage, where are we going? You'll see, he smiled. He drove closer to the path, so it wouldn't take as long to hike up. He remembered her saying she wished they had had more time. I know where we are. We should have done this the last time. The hike was a half hour. There was still daylight when they reached the small cabin. Come in. Sage opened the door. Dinner will be served shortly. Abigail seated herself at the table for two. She took the honor of lighting the candles. A romantic dinner. I hope he isn't expecting anything, she thought to herself. A hearty dinner of... He presented a bucket of KFC. They both laughed. Our first unofficial date. She smiled. You remembered. You are too cute. They shared the chicken and fries. No bread? I wish they still had it, Abby remarked. Dessert, fair lady. He presented a cake, just like they used to offer. Thank you so much. This has made me very happy. I'm glad I've done something to make you smile. Sage was feeling optimistic. Forget about the past. Just be with me now. He looked across the table at her. She was magical in the candlelight. Do I honestly stand a chance? He asked. I don't want to be seduced. I want to enjoy our friendship. I made a big mistake. Pride was the evil. I want you back. But I know... Whoops. Sorry. But I know he does too. What if I continue to see you both? This time I can handle it. He seen the look on her face. Honestly. Dan put in a call to Scott. Hey, what's up? Sage is back in the picture. When? Scott asked. I don't know. He's taken her up to a little cabin. Looks like he's gonna stay. Thanks for letting me know. Dan heard the change in Scott's voice. Nicole had made a visit to speak with Abigail. So they're both in the city again. Abby was sitting in the gazebo, miles away in her thoughts. Hey, Nicole. Yeah, they are. Come in, have a seat. This view never gets old, does it? What were you thinking? Nicole asked. I was thinking way back. To who? Russ. I don't think you ever mentioned him. Nicole fought back. No, I never did. We've seen each other for a few months. I was feeling really low when I met him. He came into our office. He was the new computer tech. I'd catch him looking at me. I'd see him at lunch, sitting with the popular office bitches. Nicole laughed. Well, it was true. Anyway, about a week into his work, he finally made the move. He got up from their table and came over to me. I was never in love with him. It wasn't for the sex either. He made me feel special. He treated me like I was the most beautiful woman in the world. Russ made me believe that I was attractive. Like I was worth the effort. When he started seeing someone else, he thought I'd be upset, but I wasn't. I wanted him to know how happy I was that we had met. I wished him well. I hope he got the message. I'm sure he did. Likely shocked him. I bet he never had a woman do that before, Nicole said. Yeah. Funny how your thoughts wander. Were there others you think back on? One other that I liked, but he was never going anywhere. His name was Don. We met on the bus. My God, could that man kiss. I melted every time. I would have kissed him forever. That lasted 2 months. He moved on to someone else. I don't think about the guys I dated. For some reason, I have been lately, Abby said. Is it to keep your mind off Scott and Sage? I'm not sure. Maybe. Because I wanted to remember. The cousins made their way to the cabin where they said their goodbyes. Talk to you soon, Abigail called out as Nicole pulled away. More men in her life she didn't need. But now she did wonder how they were. Abigail opened her laptop and searched both names and was surprised to find them. Dawn hadn't aged well. That cute face was lost with time. Russ looked the same. Funny enough, Abigail smiled and turned off the laptop. She wasn't interested in contacting them. Scott was back in his studio. He was picking apart every song he recorded. Scott, there's nothing wrong with these songs. Joe was frustrated. We spent months on these. We need to get these songs out. The one I released is doing great. I hear flaws in that one too. There was an anger in his tone. What's really going on? Remember, you contacted me to come back. Joe tried to be apathetic to his longtime friend as he stood at the doorway. I don't know. I just can't seem to settle. Scott ran his fingers through his white hair. I hate to ask, but does this have anything to do with Abby? Joe's guess was as good as money. Let's get these songs nailed down. They sound so static. I need emotion running through them. He situated himself behind the mic and began. By the end of the day, all but 4 were complete. I can't fault Abby for this one. She's actually helped this time. Joe was pleased, but he had to speak the truth. Scott, you didn't call me here for this. You can do it all on your own. I think the real reason is you need a sounding board. Buddy, you know, I'm here for you. There doesn't need to be an excuse. What's playing on your mind? 30 years, and we still can't get it together. I'm consumed by the entire thing. I keep trying to snap out of it. I can't understand this. What the hell is the problem? The friend sat back. 30 years is a long time to love a woman without being with her. She's single again. I know, but Sage is back. Scott, can he really get her back? 30 years, bud. Joe pointed out. They went to school together. Yeah, but you have the passion. What the two of you shared isn't some teenage crush. You have to fight for her. Joe shook his head. I can't believe I said that. They both laughed, relieving the tension. Sage sat in his piece of the world, wondering what he should do. He was sure Abby would come back to him. They'd known each other so long, and things went well on the date. He called his cousin. Neil, am I doing the right thing? Do I have a chance? Sure you do. Scott has hurt her so much over the years. She'll forgive you. She has already, hasn't she? He has too much drama attached to him. Give it time. Don't be a goofball. Do you spend all your time down here? It was Nicole. Abby was at the gazebo again. No, you just have perfect timing. Abigail laughed. Have you seen the videos? She inquired. What videos? Nicole took a seat by Abby. She brought up the first one. That's Sage and I. Where did you get this? It's on YT. That's not all. She called up another. It was her and Scott singing the same song. Who put this up? Abby was panicked. It was a random name, no one she knew. I never intended for this to be seen. Hold on. Nicole set up yet another one. They're comparing them, Abigail. She hung her head. This can't be happening. How do I stop it? Sweetie, it's too late. Look at the numbers. Read the comments. One after another, comments about passion between her and Scott. Negative comments towards Sage. Sage will freak out when he sees this. I feel sick. She picked up her phone. What are you doing? Nicole grabbed her hand. I have to tell him. This isn't fair, Nicole. These videos were never meant for this. Abigail didn't need to call. Her phone rang, and it was Sage's number. Sage is all she had time to say. Do you think this was funny, Abby? Why did you post it? I didn't. You honestly think I could do this? Bet Scott's happy as a pig in shit. You should have told me. Was this to compare us? Is this how you make your decision? Well, I'll make it for you. I don't want anything to do with you. Don't call me. Do you understand? Our relationship was a mistake. I can't believe you'd ruin it like this. You aren't the person I thought. With that, he hung up. Abigail was stunned. She sat holding her phone with the dial tone blaring. He thinks I did this. The tears came. How could he? I'd never do something like this. I don't see Scott doing it either. Nicole took the phone from her and ended the call. I need to call Scott. She held out her hand, tears streaming down her face. I think you should wait. Nicole, give me the phone, she screamed. She handed it over. Hello? Scott answered. Did you see the videos? Abigail was crying uncontrollably. Calm down. What videos? Nicole took the phone. Please tell me you had nothing to do with this. What videos? He shouted. The ones for Thirsty. People are comparing you and Sage with Abigail. I haven't seen it. I have nothing to do with it. I want her back. Why would I do that? Come on, Nicole. Maybe it was Sage. No. The comparison puts him in a bad light. Besides, he called here and told her off. She's in tears. Scott hung up and searched the videos. Sure enough, there it was. So obvious, Sage would never have uploaded it. But Scott, being himself, had to note the lack of the depth of passion in their performance. There it was in full color, the unmistakable love between himself and Abigail. He had more than a chance. He snapped himself out of the spotlight. He needed to get to her. Nicole tried in vain to get her cousin up to the cabin. I need time alone, please. I'll call you later. She looked up. Please, Nicole. I'll call you later. The cousins hugged. Sitting alone in the gazebo, Abby couldn't form one thought if she needed to. She was numb. It all happened so quickly. There was nothing she could do. Millions had already seen and shared it. It was showing up on Twitter and Instagram. She was devastated. She never wanted to lose Sage, but she had. It didn't matter who had posted it. She needed him to understand it wasn't her. Then make him believe it wasn't Scott. This was terrible. Nicole placed a call when she got home. She's having you call now. Sage was pissed. She doesn't even know. Listen to me. Abigail didn't post it. Who else had access? Just my cousin Neil. I'd speak with him if I were you. Sage said he would. I hope you spoke to Scott. I'm sure he put his video up. He says no, and I believe him, Nicole told Sage. After all the things he's done, you believe him? That's rich. Don't concern yourself with him. Figure out your own backyard first. Don't throw stones. Nicole hung up, leaving Sage open-mouthed at the other end. And we'll leave it there this evening. I hope you enjoyed it. What is going to happen? Even though I wrote this after a while, you kind of forget. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you to my loyal subscribers. As I said, I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to my channel, please check out my other videos. There may be something there that interests you. If there is, give it a thumbs up, drop me a comment, and share it out if you think someone else would be interested. Greatly appreciate it. While you're here, consider subscribing, and if you do subscribe, remember to click the notification bell. So, from a hot Ottawa, we're supposed to be getting possible thunderstorms tonight. The worst of them are around us. But as I said, I thought you would enjoy this photo. This was taken at Mud Lake quite a few years ago, when hubby and I used to go there in the winter as well. So I'm hoping that it's a cooler day for you tomorrow. We're not looking at it being cooler. But as always, until the next time, ciao for now.